Welcome back to Del Rey Cinema. I'm your host, Brennan.
And your host, Sean.
Today we're going to be starting the month off with Mr. Adam Sandler in The Wedding Singer.
God, this movie was funny. It's actually one of my favorite movies when I was growing up.
You know, I've never really watched this one too much out of all of his work. Never really watched this one too much, but
And
I do.
we have
But when I do, I enjoy it.
You have a word for people like you. It's called a scumbag.
Oh,
That's all right. Good job, Brendan.
go screw yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Anyways, we're back to the good movie that Brendan apparently missed out on in his childhood.
I didn't miss out on it. I didn't say I'd never seen it.
Oh.
You just can't hear with your head up your ass, huh?
Well, let's talk about this movie. We got Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi. Who else we got in here, Brendan?
We got the great Frank Sivero, who we all know from Goodfellas and The Godfather, Part 2. And we also have Alan Coltier, or Colvert, who's from the rest of Adam Sandler's movies, like Little Nicky, and he was in The Waterboy, and going forward in his career, you know, Grandma's Boy, you know.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. So the story is about a wedding singer. I mean, pretty much that's the gist of it right here. Falling in love with a waitress.
And of course you have the beautiful Drew Barrymore.
Oh my goodness, the beautiful Drew Barrymore. Who couldn't forget Drew Barrymore? Even now she's attractive.
Oh yeah.
She's absolutely beautiful right now.
Hasn't lost it one bit.
Not at all. I'd date her.
You probably would.
Oh, I would definitely. So in this, he almost gets married in the beginning of this movie, doesn't he? Adam Sandler?
No, he's about to get married. He's about to get married, and then his fiancée at the time walks out on him right after. And he meets up with Drew Barrymore here prior to that.
And who's this goofball again?
He is who Drew Barrymore is set to marry.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget one very, very, very special cameo by Mr. Billy Idol himself.
Oh, the famous Billy Idol. Mm-hmm. White Wedding.
Rebel Yell. Both great songs.
So in this movie, Drew Barrymore's husband is kind of just this guy, or husband-to-be, kind of a stockbroker douchebag, to be honest with you. And, you know, he's just a big player, and he just kind of screws around on Drew Barrymore, and it's just, Drew Barrymore's so attractive, it just doesn't make any sense, you know?
Right. Drew Barrymore, she plays... This kind of begins that... I'm not really saying it's that bad in this particular film, but this kind of begins that Adam Sandler's story frame of man-child, or some guy who gets stuck in his old job or lazy ways, and then all of a sudden makes it by the end of the movie and falls in love and everything.
Isn't it weird how that happens in
almost every one of his
movies? Mm-hmm. I'm a broke nobody, and now I'm a millionaire.
I live off of my parents, and then I decided to finally do something, and I'm a millionaire.
Or in this case, his sister.
Yeah. Or I decided to
and
take
this guy,
I decided to finally take my relationship seriously, but my old girlfriend doesn't want me anymore.
Here we are, the introduction of Mr. Who is that?
Mr. Frank Sivero.
Yeah, we know about him. I'm not talking about him. The limo driver.
Oh, Alan Colvert, from Grandma's Boy.
Oh, yes.
Grandma's Boy, Little Nicky, a lot of other Adam Sandler, The Waterboy.
Who was he in Little Nicky?
He was the guy with the apartment and the glasses.
The one that was
That's the
stripping?
one. Huh?
The one that was stripping?
Yeah.
That was him?
I believe, yeah. He had a soul patch and everything.
Hmm.
He was in Big Daddy and Mr. Deeds also.
Oh, yeah, he was the, in Mr. Deeds.
Mm-hmm.
Who was he in Mr. Deeds again? I don't remember.
He was one of the news reporters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
You got to give it to Adam Sandler. He's really not a bad singer. Really not a bad singer.
No, not at all. He's actually an incredible singer. But he was always doing that anyways on his stand-ups.
Well, yeah. Well,
When he was doing the little...
Well, and Saturday Night Live, too.
Yeah.
The weekend update.
This movie was just filled with so many laughs. Just hilarious.
And a little bit of a hint out there. Throughout this month, we're going to be doing some more Saturday Night Live actor movies. Ready for a good, humorous February, a funny ass February.
And what was her name again? I always forget her name. You know the sister? You remember the sister?
Oh, Ben Stiller's wife.
Oh, yeah.
She's also in a lot of his movies too, like Zoolander and Dodgeball.
It's kind of sucky in the movie, though, as, you know, obviously the wife doesn't show up, or wife-to-be doesn't show up for Adam Sandler, so he just goes in this depressional funk, starts playing for bar mitzvahs instead of playing for weddings, ends up all depressed all the time. Brendan, what do you think about it in general, all that, about the situation of the whole not showing up for the wedding and
I will
him
say
having
this.
to do all this stuff?
I will say this. Beautiful guitars, by the way. Beautiful guitars.
All of them?
Yes. You have 2 Gibson Les Pauls and 1 Gibson SG in the background there.
Oh, well, what's his name's holding a really nice guitar, too, right?
Sandler? Oh, no, he's just...
No, his guitarist.
Oh, yeah, that's a Les Paul. It's a Gibson Les Paul.
And where do you see the SG? Oh, in the floor?
No. Right next to the drums.
And then what's the other one, though?
The other one's a Les Paul, too. Just a different color.
Wonder how much those Les Pauls go for.
Oh. A good arm and a leg, but worth it. Definitely worth it.
The sound on them is incredible.
Yes. Hell yes. That's Jimmy Page's guitar. Jimmy Page, Paul Stanley from Kiss uses a Les Paul also. Joe Perry. We'll be discussing those gentlemen very soon too.
Drew Barrymore's blown away by Adam Sandler's whole change in his attitude in this whole movie. Mm-hmm. Doesn't he help her?
That's the SG right there in red.
Oh yeah, I see that.
AC/DC. Tony Iommi from...
Maybe I should get what we should... I'll have one of those by the end of the season.
Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath. Very, very talented talented gentleman that we'll be discussing very soon in time. Good guitarists.
Uh-oh.
That's what I like about...
That's kind of messed up. They go to the table with all the degenerates.
That's what I really love about Adam Sandler movies. He has a good soundtrack. A lot of old school rock.
Well, he loves old school rock.
Yeah.
How can you go wrong with old school rock and roll, man?
Oh, of course. I love how they have these 3 guys on the side that kind of look like the 3 Stooges over here.
I haven't seen them.
Look at them. Like a weirder version of the weird 3 Stooges.
He's like, I'm sleeping in a trash can. What an idiot. They threw him out, right?
Yeah.
His dad, right?
Yep.
You're the worst wedding singer in the world, buddy.
Yep. Just tossed him right in there.
How old was he when he did this?
Maybe 30s or something like that. He was out of Saturday Night Live way beyond that. He left that show 95, 96 or something like that. He did Saturday Night Live, and then all these movies came after it.
And how old was Drew Barrymore in this one?
She was really young in this one, too.
Huh?
She was really young in this one,
Like
too.
in her 20s?
Yeah, I would say about maybe in her 20s. This is 1998. This was after both Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. Those both came before this.
Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. He's miserable in this movie right now, dude.
Mm-hmm. This is the first comedy film that he did with Drew Barrymore. This is what began their career together in some of their movies. They do have a good chemistry going.
Always, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if they ever dated. Because they did a lot of movies together.
Yeah. Let's see, they did 2 more after this one?
They did a lot more than that.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do? They did Blended.
50 First Dates.
Yeah.
Nostalgia, folks.
No, there was another one.
An old school Dunkin' Donuts box.
Oh my god, yeah. Or an old Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Yeah.
Can't get over his hair. How does he get to stick like that?
Go inside and watch television. Oh man, we're gonna be. He does such a good job as the father-in-law in this. He's got that old school Italian. I'll look after her, you know. Don't worry about it.
He's still, every time I watch this, I don't think of him in this.
I think of him
In every gangster movie I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Get that coffee to go.
Put the pot down. You can't take the coffee. It's a joke.
Dizzy motherfucker, you.
It's
Brendan, who's your favorite character in this movie? Do you have an idea of who that might be? Knowing your cockiness, you might even say yourself. You're not even in it.
I don't want to be in this movie.
You know you don't want to be in this movie? Why?
No. Why?
What do you give it a rating? Why would you not want to be in something like this?
Because I like he has other good ones that would be cool to be in.
Like
be cool. It would be
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or The Longest Yard.
Then you can learn how to play sports.
Longest Yard. Play football. You could learn how to do something with your life. Oh.
Maybe.
Cold.
That's not nice.
That's not nice. I shouldn't say that to a scumbag like you.
Oh no, definitely not.
Oh. Man.
This guy's the real scumbag in this movie.
Yeah. He's a piece of work.
Oh my god.
This movie's supposed to take place in 1985. And I thought it was... originally, when I saw it, I thought it was an 80s movie, not a 90s movie. 1998.
That's so funny. People dressed like Michael Jackson back then.
Mm-hmm.
That was what was
jackets
in.
and everything. Michael Jackson in, like what you see in Vice City. Actually, to a T of what you see in.
I think that's what his soundtrack was when he was coming up to the club.
Mm-hmm.
In the DeLorean, I think it was the Vice
Yeah.
City soundtrack, actually. That's the funny part about it.
If you see this movie and Scarface, that's Vice City to a T. The outfits, the atmosphere.
You mean Miami Vice?
No, Scarface.
No, I'm talking about his soundtrack was for Miami Vice.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the aesthetic and the look.
His life is Miami Vice. Even they mentioned it in the
Right.
party scene. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Miami Vice reruns. So overall, how'd you feel about the movie?
I like it.
You didn't even answer.
My what do you mean? I
I
just
need a grade.
a grade.
What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd give it a 6 to a 7. Just because to me, he's done better movies than this. Maybe I just haven't grown on it.
And this was after Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, after Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison.
This seems like before, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's just because it looks like it takes place.
Just his natural attitude.
It looks like it takes place in the 80s because you see the mullets and everything.
She's really young in this.
Yeah, she is. Blossoming, you know. This was before. This was before. Way before Charlie's Angels, and by that time she was
Yeah, how long ago?
between this film and Charlie.
That was like 20 years, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Or no.
2000s.
She's probably in her late 30s when she did Charlie's Angels, right?
That was another great movie. Another great role. And she's also was on Family Guy. Brian's girlfriend, Jillian. Remember the dumb blonde one?
That was Drew Barrymore.
That was Drew Barrymore.
Oh, Seth MacFarlane casted her then, huh?
Yep. That was Drew Barrymore. And of course, E.T.
Oh, yeah, but she was really young in E.T.
Kid.
That was her first movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any before that?
Not that I know of.
Uh-oh.
And then,
Huh?
of course, before Billy Madison, Adam Sandler coming from SNL. Actually, some of his sketch characters later evolved into some of his movie characters, like Waterboy.
Waterboy was after this, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Years after this, I think.
What was after Waterboy?
Little Nicky. And then Big Daddy, I think. There was Madison, Gilmore, this, Waterboy, Little Nicky, Big Daddy, and Deeds. And then Longest Yard. You got this George Michael looking dude with a trumpet.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first saw this movie, I thought that was Boy George.
I honestly thought it was too.
They look like they're having fun.
Yeah, Mr. Robert Smigel, right around Saturday Night Live and the Dana Carvey show. In a couple of sketches. He was on a lot of Comedy Central roasts too.
Give it a little spanking before you. That's where you mess up.
Yeah.
There, good toots. Nice job, toots.
There's the SG. That's the one he's putting in the case.
God, that's a lot of money in guitars then he has for his group.
Yeah. Well, back then, I'm sure those guitars were a lot cheaper. Remember, this is 1998. And even in the movie, going back to 1985, like, those
How much were they when they first came out?
Shoot. Probably in the high hundreds or something like that. I would have to read.
Not in 1,000.
No, not yet. But you know how it is. Gradually, as it gets newer, they make newer models. The going rate goes up.
Now they're like $4,000, aren't they?
Yeah, they can range to.
Depending on what the color scheme is and everything.
If you're lucky, you'll be able to get a good used one for at least maybe $1,000, $800. A used one though.
Not new.
Not new, but it would have to be like a good condition used one. Do you understand that?
Oh no, I understand that.
Do you understand the concept of the tooth fairy? Christopher fucking Walken.
Oh, John Lovitz. Bam, Trump. Give me that new song, feeling right.
John Lovitz is always enjoyable to
Oh,
watch.
he's hilarious.
He's also on a lot of roasts, too. He was there for the roast of the late and great Mr. Bob Saget. Still hard to believe that guy's gone.
That's crazy.
I've seen him live. Bob Saget.
How was that?
It was great.
Is he raunchy?
He's very dirty. Very, very raunchy.
What's he talking about?
Well, for starters, he comes out and starts cursing and starts making a bunch of sex jokes and innuendos and everything. Then he starts talking about how he was the dad, but I'm the dad on Full House, so listen to me. Like, he'll talk about banging somebody and just say the most horrible words. And then he'll go, but remember, I'm the dad on Full House, so you should listen to me.
Didn't he hook up with some girl? Didn't he hook up with someone from a few of them, from all of them almost in Full House, right?
No, he didn't. He didn't hook up with them. He was their dad. He was the dad. They were way too old to hook up with any of them.
No, he only hooked up with Gibbler later on.
I think he says that in one of his stand-ups. He's like, I did everyone in this room. You're all my bastard children. Oh, man.
He wrote that that hilarious song that he made about his ex.
Yeah. And that, my friend, is a Gibson ES335. The same model guitar that B.B. King, the late and great B.B. King, played. Lucille. That right there is a very great guitar.
And it sounds great.
Mm-hmm. Semi-hollow body.
Would you be able to pick one of those up and know how to play it?
Of course.
You think you're good at guitar?
I play guitar. Probably not that great, but...
Better than this?
Not as great as I was. Which wasn't...
Could you do that strum alone?
That strum alone?
Could you do that?
Yeah. Could you?
No.
I know. You're a moron, that's why.
You'd be able to do this whole song.
Yeah. It's just chords. Adam Sandler isn't a bad guitar player either. He's a good rhythm guitar player. I love the song that he dedicated to Farley.
Oh, Chris Farley?
Yeah, and his stand-up and when he hosted Saturday Night Live a few years ago. Oh, man.
This movie is so funny.
John Lovitz.
Did you have any idea she wasn't the right one when you were together?
Remember we went to Grand Canyon one time, we were flying there and I never been there before, and Linda had. So you would think that she would give me the window seat, but she didn't. Not that that's a big deal. But
Who's your favorite character in this movie?
What?
Who is your favorite character?
Oh, Drew
Do you
Barrymore.
understand English?
Drew Barrymore, for sure. She's absolutely stunning.
Yes.
She looks like the type of girls I go after now.
Yeah. Do you get very lucky with them?
Every now and then, not like all the time.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
Oh. You'll get them. Don't worry, man. You'll get it. And then there's Ben Stiller's wife again.
That looks good right now.
Completely forgot what her name was.
Is it Christian Taylor?
Christina Taylor?
Oh my god, look at that ugly thing.
Oh,
That's scary.
holy shit.
That's something they did in a shower, bathe, brush teeth.
Yeah. I'd rather not.
And he helps out his grandma girl. Does grandma learn how to play piano? Am I correct?
He's teaching her a Beatles song, actually.
Oh yeah, he does it a few times, right?
No, just that one. Till There Was You. One of the songs that the Beatles played on Ed Sullivan when they first came to America. It's a good song. It's a good song, but I don't like this. I don't like this version of it. It's not that great a song. Yeah, him and Sandler do a lot of stuff together.
They're like best friends, right?
Yeah.
He's got his little friend clique, that's for sure.
But now I've noticed over the last couple of years, he's been going back to working with his SNL buddies like Spade and Chris Rock, and, along with these other guys too. You know, when I first saw this movie, I thought that this house was his grandma's house in Happy Gilmore.
It's the same house?
I thought it was. I don't think it is, though. Because it looks like it's the same design one. And it looks like it could be, but I don't think it is. It does, doesn't it? No, that's not their house.
Yeah, that's not it.
There he is.
That was a big deal back then, the perm/mullet deal.
Yeah. He looks like he's wearing a shirt from Billy Madison. Yeah. The old school mullet.
Mm-mm.
That's the 80s for you.
Mm. So what do you think about where the area this movie takes place?
What? New Jersey?
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. I'm not really sure what part of Jersey it's in. I remember it being having taken place in New Jersey. What do you think?
I think it's a really nice area. That's what I think.
New Jersey.
They got really lucky on the filming days because it was sunny every day.
New Jersey. You know what New Jersey is? Home of The Sopranos. Home of the greatest television series of all time. Or one of the greatest television series of all time.
You should do that at the wedding.
Sometimes in the movie it's a little bit too obvious that they're falling in love with each other. But sometimes that's how it is in life. You just can't hide that.
Sometimes it really is right at the beginning, though. You kind of can see it already happening. You see that spark in Sandler and Barrymore's eyes from the moment that they see each other on that loading dock.
You want to play record?
Or were CD players just coming out right there?
Yeah, this is 85.
Jesus.
1985.
I remember when I had a Walkman.
It was pretty trippy, isn't it?
Makes sense. Hey, if you don't want me to, I won't do it.
Big time.
Good. Robbie. Excuse me. Just because he's going out with me doesn't mean he's gonna get laid. Or do you think he'll go out with me? Hey, you guys, it'll be fun. Let's go on a double date. Okay.
What do you think about what they're listening to in the club?
Very reminiscent of Vice City. Very, very much like Vice City. Reminds me of the nightclub. Nightclubs in that, and Scarface. You see the glitz and glamour of the 80s. The hair metal LA pop scenes.
Yeah, well, that's the idea.
Women dressed like Madonna. Guys try to look like Michael Jackson and Prince.
So, Robbie, how's your business going?
What do you think?
Love it. Makes me wish I was 40.
So you
Would have
could-
started in all that stuff early and had a lot more money. Because
Yeah.
that stuff was,
I feel you there.
everything was so much cheaper. Now inflation's so incredibly big, it's just ridiculous.
I told him.
We know you look great together. I fucked it, Robbie. When I get excited, my little China girl, she says, "Oh baby, just shut your mouth."
Good old David Bowie.
I love David Bowie. He's so sexy.
Huh.
What did you think of David Bowie?
Oh man, I'm mad I didn't get to see him. I had chances to.
What was your favorite song?
Probably China Girl.
Mine was Space Odyssey
No,
and Let's Dance.
Ziggy Stardust was a favorite of mine too.
And of course, Man Who Sold the World. Rebel, Rebel.
Julia's last name is going to be Julia. Julia, that's funny. Why is that funny? I don't know. Are you excited? Yeah, she's paid her dues. It's been with me 4 years. I went to her to get married.
This guy is one of the greatest men on on the planet. He's about to marry. He's about to get married, but he'd rather just cheat and then cheat even after he's tying the knot.
Oh, that doesn't sound typical in our day and era either.
Yeah. He sounds a lot like someone who's got it all together. I love it when it comes down to him and Sandler facing off later in the plane.
Oh, or the bar too.
Yeah. Then of course having Billy Idol in this movie.
Well, sometimes you really love your girl. You gotta figure out a way to get the douchebag guy out of the way.
Mm-hmm. And if having one of the funnest lead singers to watch on stage and listen to do it, then so be it. I mean, just the fact that it's Billy.
Breakdancing was so big back then, too.
Yeah. Breakdancing for sure. Well, she did tell him that she's not much of a drinker, but, you know, now he found out.
And there's the music. Oh, it even said Miami Vice music.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Miami Vice. You got this dude trying to look like fucking David Hasselhoff.
Wearing sunglasses at night.
Yep. You know what you call people like that?
A douchebag?
Yep.
That's what I call them.
Me too.
Why would you wear fucking sunglasses at night?
Doesn't make any sense. I love the Pacer that he drives. Totally 80s. Total 80s car.
Well, let's talk about them getting a little bit closer and actually the other guy getting out of the picture and Adam Sandler ended up with Drew Barrymore. How's that happen?
Well, him and Drew Barrymore wanted each other right from the get-go, but then something else happened and...
Let's talk about the airplane scene. What do you think about the airplane scene?
His former wife comes back, tries to get back with him, but then he doesn't want her anymore.
Oh, yeah. She answered the door of the Van Halen t-shirt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, how did you feel about, in the movie, we remember Adam Sandler thinks that just because the guy that Drew Barrymore's with has all his money, he needs to go and be a business person now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that bullshit?
Has to go and be a business person because he wants to continue cheating. So he's not really into her.
What do you think? No, I'm not asking. What do you think of Adam Sandler going, I'm trying to do this business thing to try to...
I did say he made a smart move.
Smart, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he didn't think so.
He didn't think so because he didn't know if it would work. He didn't know she was on the plane until...
It didn't even describe that if he ended up doing that in the end of the movie or if he ended up becoming and staying a wedding singer. That would have been nice to know.
Yeah. Sometimes in his movies he has those little descriptions of what happened after.
He makes a really pretty song for Drew Barrymore in it.
He does.
And is there there's a part in there where they're actually getting in a fight? If I don't remember right.
They get
When
into,
they're getting out of the bar.
they get into a fight, and then that's when she comes back to apologize. And then she finds his old wife there. And then that's what sends her.
And she's at night she's like she tried on her dress and realized she'll be a lot more happy with
him. Yeah.
with Robbie Hart, aka
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. So in the plane we brought in Billy Idol with a funny little scene.
That's where we run into him. He's involved in his story and everything, invested into it.
Yeah, it's too bad he's not in the story more than he was in that little plane scene.
Going back to the shirt, let me ask you, what did you think of Van Halen?
Oh, I love Van Halen. Panama.
Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
No.
David Lee Roth or Hagar?
I think David Lee Roth.
Alright.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think?
David Lee Roth.
Yeah, you think the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hagar was good.
Hagar was good, but it wasn't David Lee Roth.
Right.
See, throughout this whole movie, she's realizing she doesn't even love the guy. And then she makes him a song, right?
Yeah. She makes him a song. And he's so in disbelief and everything that he gets mad and they argue and she tosses the song all over.
Well, so here he goes with the bank thing.
Oh yes, now we run into the very talented Kevin Nealon from Saturday Night Live. Kevin Nealon was involved with the head anchor for the Weekend Update.
He was in movies too, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, no, his most well-known sketch on Saturday Night Live was being on the Weekend Update, the fake news, the parody news broadcast that they have on that show. But he's been in other movies. He's been in Joe Dirt, other Adam Sandler movies. He was in, I think he had a role in Happy Gilmore. He was in Happy Gilmore. I think he had a role, like a cameo in Beverly Hills Ninja with Farley. Or something like that.
Such a jerk to her. Or as he puts it, I am an asshole.
Yeah.
I am an asshole. Anyways. We're going to go ahead and wrap the show for the night, you guys. We're going to have some great stuff coming this month.
Yep.
And we'll be going live on a TV show here in the next few months. So it'll be a little more entertaining for everybody. So this is your host, Sean.
I'm your host, Brendan.
Have a wonderful night.
Good night.